Hi everybody! So today I have a quick short one for you guys because last week I showed you my Coraza Shaw, the last tutorial that I made, this one here, which I absolutely love and have used so much. It's a really nice easy peasy pattern, and so in this one with the chain 1DC, sort of, I don't particularly like to do color changes. I mean, you can do it of course if you like, but I don't really like to, so I made a sort of addition to it, which I'll be adding to the pattern as well. And I just made this tiny little tutorial today to show you this addition, which is the colorful Coraza. Whee! La 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 la. Okay, so this is obviously my new favorite, absolute favorite shawl. It is just, I love it. These are exactly my colors I went for. So the trick is that sort of you have the mesh, the basic stitch in the Coraza in sort of gray and white, and went into this dark brown or black, and then I add the color splashes in between with 2 double crochets together. So there's sort of like a definition. There's a difference between the color splash rows and the basic rows, and on this one I put my pearls and tassels on, and I love that this one has 5 points, so I can do like 5 different colored tassels with all kinds of little beads, and it's just great fun, the whole thing. Also, I want to show you guys that for this one I made this sort of like a sample in Ojo de Dios, God's Eye, just to get a feel for the colors that I wanted to use. And next week I'm going to have a tutorial on how to make these Ojo de Dios, which are both really pretty. I love these. And they're great to do a bit of a little sample of the colors that you're going to use to see how they go together. And you know, in the end, you end up with something useful, or maybe not exactly useful, but pretty and decorative. So it's not just doing like a sample that you then have to store away, but you end up with something pretty as well. So that's for next week. What next? So yeah, this is my new absolute favorite one, and I show you the sequence, and it's in the pattern as well. I just always do 6 of the normal, 1 color, 1 normal, 1 color, 2 normal, 1 color, 3, 1, 1, 1, and then I go and I repeat that. And this is actually quite bigger than, it's like 74 rows I think, but as like before, you can just do it as big or small as you want. And on this one I just ended it with 1 color splash row, no border really, but I think it just works out beautifully. So new favorite here, this is going to be my winter shawl. I made another one because I couldn't stop. That's how fun it is. This one here I made in DK, and this is some really luxurious sort of like, I think it's like a cashmere blend or something. It's just lovely, 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 or like a silk and wool, I can't remember, but it's just lovely. And I did it all in white and blue, and I absolutely love it. And this is in DK, so this is actually the same size as the other one, although it's only well, it's fewer rows. I'll put that in the pattern. And here I went the other way, and I did the basics in the blues, and then I did the color splash rows with this beautiful white, which is like wool with linen. So I don't know if you can see it, but it has this beautiful shine on it. And then I added the little shells, which I think is a beautiful detail. And again, lots of fun with all the 5 tassels. Right, and this one I love because it was done on like a 5mm hook, I think I went for, or 4.5, and in DK, so it really just bloomed and opened up when I blocked it. You see how really light and lovely it is. So that was great fun. I really like this one as well. And just to show you that you can do this version as well in 1 color, here's the beautiful shawl my friend Iris made for me. And so this is with the color splash lines in between, as you can see, but then just in 1 color. And this is made in Aran. So it's really thick and just gorgeous. And I'm so happy that she made me a black shawl, because I'm incapable of making a black shawl. So you can go either way with the color splash row, for color, not color, what have you. But again, this one here is, I mean, these are just my colors right all over it, right? Go great with my hair as well. Before I say goodbye and we do the It's a Bitsy Quick tutorial, I want to show you my puff, the one that I made with the baskets, the rope basket tutorial. Isn't it gorgeous? Oh my god, I love it. It just turned out so proper and pretty, and this is just one of my my favorite pieces ever. I swear, I love it. And it's such a beautiful addition to the champagne cellar. It works both as a footstool and just a stool for people to sit on. So I really love how that worked out, and I explained this all in the rope basket tutorial. Okay, I think that is it for today. Just a really quick, nice tutorial today to show you how to add some color splash and fun to your coraza. Okay, let's go. Whoop, whoop. Okay, so the thing is that in this sort of mesh look, which is the chain 1, DC 1, I don't like how it looks to change colors. Yeah, so I really prefer these in just one solid color, or sort of like changing a bit just in the yarn, within the yarn itself, sort of tones like this one here with the Noro. Yeah, but you know, it's lovely to just work with one color and not thinking about anything and just hooking along, right? But colors are, you know, fun too. So I came up with a colorful version, the colorful coraza. So as you can see here, I'm working on mine. It's not blocked or ants are out and everything yet. So what I just do here is actually there is a, can you see the the order? It just looks like all kinds of colors, but I'm doing gray and sort of blackish gray and white in between for the basic mesh, and then I have these color rows in between. Okay, and those are all like pink and yellow and all sort of warm colors, so like crazy organized. But so the thing is that you just do then the regular row, the basic repeats. You start with doing 5 or 6 rows of the basic coraza and always repeating row 5. Yeah. And here I did, in mine, I did 6 rows here, and then I did the first color row. And I'm going to show you how to do this color row here now, and also how you do the next one after the color row. Okay, so you can do as many rows as you want in the basic one, really. And then just add the splash of color where you want. I'm going to show you the sequence that I'm doing in a minute. So now when we do the color row, then you want obviously some sort of bright pink, basic. So you just work the first 6 rows like I showed you, and now we're going to do one color row. Okay, and so always when we change colors, then we're going to do it in the last step before before starting with a new color. So instead of just finishing this last double crochet here in row 6, I'm going to finish it with the new color, with the pink. Whoop. Okay, and as before, we always do the beginning and end of row the same in the color rows as well, just the same as before. 1, 2, 3, 4 chains. And I usually take my 2 tails here and just work over them here just at the beginning, but I will have to work over my ends as well. And we do 2 double crochets here into the first chain space. 1 and 2. Work over my tails there, and then I just drop them, and I'm gonna have to weave them in later. Okay, and then we get to the color, no, sorry, and then we do 1 chain. Okay, so the beginning of the color variation row is 4 chains, 2 double crochets, and 1 chain. And now we get to the repeat. So into the next chain space, we're going to do 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. And now we do no chain. We're just going to jump and do 2 double crochets into each chain space until we get to the increase. So instead of doing 1 double crochet and chain, we just do 2 double crochets, right? So it's 2 into each chain space until we get, and this is a repeat, works for every row until we get to the increase bit, right? Okay, so I did 2 double crochets in the beginning here. I did 1 chain here. Yeah, so we're going to keep the chain at the beginning and end of row and around this here, but all the rest, there's no chain in between. It's just 2 double crochets and hop to the next one. 2, 2, 2, 2. And now once we have worked 2 into the last chain space before the increase bit, we work 1 chain, because we want to keep the increase bit the same. And then we do into the increase the same as before, 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, 1 chain, 2 double crochets, and 1 chain. Okay, just as before. And then we do the same repeat here now, all in between until we get to the next increase. It's just 2 double crochets into the next chain space. 1 and 2, and jump to the next one. 1 and 2, 2 into each. And this is actually quite fun. I mean, I do love the simplicity of the other one. It's really easy to hook on, and it's nice not to be changing colors or anything, but since it is very a simple pattern, I think this one really, well, after doing like 5 of the other one, I'm loving working on this one here, because it's just a bit of color fun and color play, and it's still really easy, and you're always working into the chain spaces. Yeah. Okay, so now I've done 2 into the last chain space here before the increase, and now I do again 1 double crochet into the increased chain space. I do 2 double crochet, 1 chain, 2 double crochet, and 1 chain, and then I continue the same way, 2 double crochet into each and every of the chain spaces here in between, and then the same here on the increase, 1 chain, 2 double crochet, 1 chain, 2 double crochet, 1 chain. And then we continue here with 2 double crochets into each chain space, and I'm going to show you how to finish the row, right? But this is really very easy peasy and fun, because now we have pink. Ah! Okay, so I've finished here doing just all the same, the other repeat here, and now I'm at the end of the row, and I'm only missing, I worked into the last chain space here before the end of the row, right? And now the only thing that I'm going to do different is I'm going to do 1 chain here before the jump, like always before the increases. We're going to add these chains there to keep, this is to keep the chain count, the stitch count right. So at the end we do 1 chain, and then we yarn over, and into the last chain space here we're going to do as same as before, always 2 double crochets, 1 chain, and 1 double crochet. Okay, so that's the color variation row, and now I am going to show you just straight ahead, I think, how you do. Then you just do a repeat of row 5 again. It's all the same really, but it's just slightly different when you do the repeat after working a color variation. Yeah. So if we now are going to change again to, I'm not going to break the yarn here because I'm going to undo this later maybe. So as before, now I want to back up here before changing color here, because I'm always just doing 1 row of these color rows, okay? And then I do various repeats of row 5 in between before I do another color row, right? And it's just the same, but now it's written up a bit differently, but let's just show you. So now we change here to the gray again, and we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is how we work the basic row repeat, the row 5 repeat after doing a color variation row. Okay, so we turn after the 4 chains, and we start as always by doing 2 double crochets here in the beginning in the first chain space, and I usually will work over my 2 tails there just to get them sort of neat and tucked in, but I will have to weave them in later. Okay, so row 5, but after working a color variation row, and then we do 1 chain as always, and now we're going to jump to the first chain space here and do 1 double crochet and chain 1. And now, just instead of going into the chain spaces with our our double crochet, we're going to go into the DC space here in between 2, like we're going to jump over 2 stitches, the 2 DCs, and work here always in between our groups of 2, right? So we yarn over, skip 2 and do 1 double crochet, chain 1, skip 2, 1 double crochet. So it's exactly the same, but instead of going into a chain space, you're going into a double crochet space, like the space between 2 double crochets. And you want to do that here in between each set of 2s, right? So it's skip 2 and then 1 double crochet. And the last one here actually does land in a chain space because there we did the chain. And you do this until you get to a repeat, and there you just do it the same as before, 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, 1 chain and 2 double crochets and 1 chain. My yarn fell to the floor here. And then again, instead of doing it into the chain space, you're just going to have to do skip 2 and work into the next. Well, the first one is a chain space, and then just skip 2. So it's 1 DC, chain 1, skip 2 and work the next DC here in the space between 2 double crochets here, right? So I mean, it's basically the same, but it's written up a bit differently, yeah? But it's really easy, and you're keeping the same rhythm in the whole of the pattern. So it's you know, it's a minor change from the normal repeat of row 5. You see, and how it's working out. And I love these color splashes. Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to show you on my shawl in a bit, but then, okay. And so you repeat this until we get to an increase, and there we do the same as before, always 2 double crochets, 1 chain and 2 double crochets. And again, we do 1 chain, skip 2, and do the DC. Chain, skip 2, DC into the space. Chain, skip 2, DC into the space. So it's all the same. I'm just going to show you how to finish the row, but it's always all the same here. We're always repeating, doing the same until we get to the increase, and the increase is like before, right? Okay, I'm up to the end of the row, and we're just going to finish it as we always do. I did the last double crochet here and 1 chain, and then we're going to go into the last chain space of the row and do it as always, 2 double crochets, 1 chain and 1 double crochet. So minor changes to this row 5 repeat after the color variation row, but basically it's just the same. But it really looks lovely, doesn't it? Oh, I love hooking on this and having such fun with this one. So I just want to show you, so you can do this really, you can do just 1 basic row in between the color splashes. You can do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever you want. I'm doing mine in a sequence, just to have some sort of order on my mind. So I started with 6 of the basic Coraza, and then I did do 1 color splash row, and then I do 1 basic, 1 color, 2 basic, 1 color, 3 basic, 1 color, 1 basic, 1 color, and then I start the sequence again and do 6 of the basic, yeah? So I do 6, 1, 2, 3, 1, right? And then I start again and do 6, color 1, color 2, color 3, color 1, color, and then I start again with 6, right? And I mean, but really you can do this any way you like. You can do as many, as few and as many basic rows in between your color splashes as you wish. I really like how they look different between, like how it makes a different sort of effect. I really like this one here. When you do just 1, then it really just pops up, and you just get sort of the you don't see the chains, right? So that's kind of fun. And then I really like how you do when you do 2, it sort of looks like a trenza. How do you say this? A braid or something. These look like it's going And then when you do the 3, it looks like this. So I think it's fun to play with this, and it doesn't have to be a sequence. You do it any way you like. And I haven't quite decided on how many rows I'm actually doing for this one. I think I might do this one a bit bigger than the standard 53 to 56 rows.
Then I'm doing for the other one. Let's see, basically just because I'm having so much fun and I want to make room for all the colors in there. But this is great fun to work on, and you know, maybe start with the basic Coraza and you know, in silk definitely, but then this is so much fun as well to hook up some color in there. And I'm using all kinds of fingering weight here. Some is a bit thinner and some is a bit thicker, but you know, that's fine. They'll all look great once blocking. So yeah, that's the colorful Coraza version. I hope you have fun with this, you guys. Looking forward to see what you make. Whoop, whoop.